Anyway, welcome guys to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I realised I've got to start doing a bit more of an upbeat intro because I've been doing this keto thing. The last two shows that I've done have been, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.
Your miserable keto diet.
My miserable keto diet.
He doesn't stop talking about it.
Do you know what? I for the first 2 weeks, the first sort of week and a half, I was really struggling for energy. I kind of wanted to shoot myself in the face half the time. I see adverts on Facebook for food and things like that. I'm kind of like, I hate my life.
It's not that bad.
It was at first because I'm a big guy, man. I was relying a lot on sugar, especially with the night shifts. I was doing night shift. I work night shifts, and my first night shift back without sugar was just...
Did you get hangry? Was it hungry, angry? Isn't it hangry?
I know. I was just doing stupid. Right, for example, right, the coffee pot in the kitchen at work had gone empty. So I was like, okay, I need to fill this up. So I went to get the big tub of coffee, opened up the coffee pot, and then started pouring the coffee into my mug because I just couldn't think straight. And I nearly got myself banned from Facebook for... this is going to sound terrible, but when I add context to it, it will be fine. I accidentally uploaded a nude picture on Facebook, not of me, not of me.
Okay, yeah, fine, that's fine.
It was a feature we do on the other show, Thorskin. It's a bit rude. It's called What the Wish. And you know these wish adverts that people send in?
I don't know if I want you to carry on, but...
One of them, we like to poke fun at them, and it's like an improv thing. And one of them was a guy in sheer underwear, and you could see everything through it.
Oh, right, okay.
And I completely forgot that Facebook has rules against those things. I was just like, yeah. And they were like, And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me?
Oh, so you didn't notice it actually got reported before you got...
No, it recognised me. It recognised it. And it was like, this is your one warning. So, yeah, I've been doing a lot of daft things. But now I'm full of energy. And I've got I'm back. Charisma, baby. So anyway, welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit. It's me and DeeDee today. And
Hiya.
How's it going? You okay?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. And today we're talking to Jen Eastwood. And Jen, I've been speaking to for a while. A big supporter of ours on social media. She's liking a lot of our stuff, sharing a lot of our stuff. And we got us talking. And you do Rock Rose for social media, right? That's what you do?
Yep, Rock Rose Digital, yeah.
First of all, thank you so much for your support early on in our days. You were a big support for, especially on Instagram. You're like, yeah, biscuit baby, So thank you for that.
Not a problem at all. It's great to showcase and help support other local people starting out and just doing great things for the community. I think it's really important. It's certainly what I try and do with my work. So yeah, I try and support other people that are doing the same.
Yeah, I love the work that you do because there are a lot of people that see because. To explain what you... Let's go back a second, right? Because I was going to jump ahead and people were like, what's he going on about? Let's explain what it is you do.
Yeah, okay. So I am a freelance social media marketer. I run my own social media business. I help businesses either by teaching them or doing it for them, increase their visibility, grow a community around their business, and ultimately make an impact with sales and make an impact on the world. A lot of the businesses I work with, they've got a really big purpose or passion bigger than just making money. I say they live for a cause, not applause. So it's not just pounds in the bank. It's making an impact on their part of the world, however big or small, from an author who has a lot of side projects. And she's doing incredible things to health and wellbeing practitioners who, face to face are making a difference to people's lives, and a big B2B company who are really innovating and completely transforming their industry at the moment. They're big pioneers for what they do. So,
what got you into doing this?
So I am a stereotypical millennial. I grew up with Facebook, with MySpace, all of those, and I haven't been able to put it down since. So my career before digital was actually hospitality, which might seem like quite a big difference, but the kind of basic principles of getting in customers and building a community around a independent venue. I've always worked for boutique independent venues, so it's that kind of same ethos that I bring into the work that I do today. And for each of those venues, certainly for the last 6 or 7 years of my hospitality career, I did do social media for all of those because no one else wanted it. So I was like, I'll take it.
Well, social media is a difficult thing, isn't it? To keep on top of. I think it's made you keep in the moment, isn't it? Get people's attention, isn't it?
It is full on. And certainly originally, I think a lot of people certainly say my older hospitality managers, they didn't really understand it. Yeah. It was this little fickle thing that kids did. And now it's such a prominent and important part of businesses. Yeah, it's huge.
And each one has its own strengths, of course.
It does. Yeah.
And I hear people saying, oh, well, Facebook's for mom and dad and Instagram's for the kids and things like that. But, I quite like Facebook as a good all-round conversational thing.
I'm on everything.
Yeah, because you can do all sorts with Facebook. And then there's Instagram, which is very visual. And we're an audio-only podcast, and we still get some great visual stuff on Facebook. I need to swore then. I was in foreskin mode. We still get some very visual stuff on there. We go to lots of places. But what do you hear when someone comes to you and says, I need help with social media? What's the most common things you hear from people that need help with this?
I think a lot of people just hear that they need social media because everyone else has got it, and they don't quite understand what it is they need from it or why they want it. So I really try and dig deep with businesses on their goals, their brand values, and find out how to make social media work for them and not the other way around, which I think is really important, and find out how they can help their community, what kind of information they can share, how can they support their followers and grow their audience by being useful, and being remarkable as well, and helping people in their own little unique way. I think it's a phenomenal tool. I really do, especially as it's free at the point of use. You choose if you want to pay anything into it. It's something that I think everyone should be doing.
Yeah, I feel that too. I mean, everything that we've got with this show has been through, mainly through social media. I wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for Instagram.
Exactly.
For example,
I'm really sorry about that.
No, that's great. We've made so many friends with the show, and I love it. Are you okay there, DeeDee?
Yeah, I'm fine. My mic's just landing on me slowly. Oh, there we go. I fixed it. Look at that. Skills.
Just tighten the thing there.
I'm getting to it.
I just don't want to be like, oh, he invites me on the biscuit. Set 2 shows in and got a broken toe because the microphone landed on my foot.
It's right, I'll get there in the end.
And there is a lot of holdback. There's a lot of holdback with social media. And I bet you hear it all the time. I bet you drag people kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
It's amazing how kind of scared people are of it, scared of putting themselves out there, scared that they don't have anything to talk about, scared of looking stupid, scared of what other people would think of them, or like Karen, who they used to go to school with and they're not seen for 20 years. They're just fearful of absolutely
Yeah, I think a lot of it
everything.
Is to do with fear and putting the wrong thing, isn't it? Especially nowadays when people can criticise you for the smallest things.
Yeah, doing it wrong as well. I think a lot of my clients have come from maybe quite strict corporate backgrounds, and now they're wanting to build an empire for themselves and do it for their own well-being, follow their own passions and have a more fulfilling life. But because they're now out of that structure of a big corporate world, kind of they realise all of the responsibility is on them, and they don't want to put a foot wrong or say the wrong thing. It's like, you cannot break social media, really.
Yeah, very true.
You really can't do anything wrong. If anything is that terrible, you just delete it and it's gone. That's what's amazing about it.
Unless you're Roseanne Barr. But Twitter is the main one where obviously we live in a world now where Trump is like releasing some stupid tweet every single day. You've got to be careful with that sort of thing. And I think that's probably what people are scared of. They might say the wrong thing. But if you treat your business or your passion or what it is you do with the same sort of love and affection you would treat a child, you got to raise it right, okay? So you wouldn't be putting ridiculous things
No, I think it is a lot to do with passion, isn't it? If you want something that much, you do what it takes to get there, isn't it? And especially with the whole using social media as a platform is a big thing. But I understand, because I've got a cake business, and I'm appalling with my social media. Like, when I mean bad, I mean like I don't think I've posted on it since November.
Girl, we need to talk.
I know it's really that bad at the moment, and I'm on like Facebook and then Instagram. People go, look at my Facebook, and I go, oh yeah, it's my Instagram I use more. I'm lying. I just.
And that's the thing, though, isn't it? You've got to learn which one is the best for you. I mean, do you encourage people to use all of the social media?
Gosh, no. Find 1 or 2 that work really well for you, and not just for your audience, but ones that you actually enjoy using. Because if you don't enjoy using it, if you're finding it really, really tough, you're not going to put your best work out there. You're not going to connect with your audience in the best way. And I say you should be wanting to show up online in the same way that you would show up for your customers in real life.
Yeah.
And you kind of give them that knowledge, those questions that they ask you in real life, or the conversations that you have about your business in real life. Bring that into your online world and try and grow and just show your expertise in that way.
Yeah, I feel like it was a learning curve for me doing the biscuit, because we like to keep things like sort of, family friendly with the biscuit and nice and friendly. Yeah, I try, baby. I try.
A little bit PG-13, like need some guidance
sometimes.
But when we've had like messages or comments written about, say, when I shared the XR march through town. So I keep doing that. I should be a professional. Anyway, I shared that and it got so much abuse. And I was just kind of like, no, just fine. Hold back. Because they want me to poke, they're poking me. And I feel like as soon as you start going down that hill, that road, that's it. Like,
I think that was the first, even though I'd shared stuff of yours before then, that was the first post I think where we'd properly connected. I was like, yes, there's someone else that thinks the same as me. I don't think all of these kids are horrible.
I think they're doing a great job. I mean, okay, closing down city streets and things I struggle with, but like what their message, what they're trying to do.
Oh, definitely,
it is great, because like if we make the planet cleaner and fresher and it turns out that we weren't supposed to, then at least we've got a cleaner and fresher planet. I don't understand what the problem is.
Oh yeah, who's going to moan about having a nicer place to live?
Yeah, exactly. So where did this all begin for you then? Because like we were talking before, we met in Glue like last week, I think it was, and we were talking about, and I was quite fascinated how this all began for you, because you started from literally nothing, right?
Yeah, peanuts. So I was made redundant. I was working for an agency, doing social media and copywriting and helping with websites for about a year. This was towards the end of 2017, I think.
Yeah.
And then, Christmas that year, the week before Christmas, I got made redundant completely out of the blue.
What timing.
Yeah. And it was just a horrid situation. And I was already struggling kind of mentally and financially. So that was the first Christmas, I think, since I was about 13 that I've not given my family Christmas presents, which is quite harsh when you're nearly 30. So that then spiraled into a lot of other things happening that were quite negative, and my mental health was the worst place it's ever been. It was really in the gutter. I was reaching 30 years old and I had no money. I was single. I hated where I was living. I felt like everything in my life had led to this point and I'd not achieved anything. Like I had nothing to stand for. And I just wasn't wanting to be around anymore, to put it kind of quite honestly. And then for whatever reason, there was a little part of me. It was almost like that little pilot light in your boiler that wasn't quite fully out. I was like, there's something there still. So, I was trying to sort myself out. I think it was the 2nd of January, 2 years ago. And I was like, right, I'm just going to do a bit of social media, try and keep some money coming in, keep a roof over my head, keep the stray cat I'd befriended, fed, as you do. It was proper, like, stereotypical crazy cat lady. And, that kind of, it built from there, really. It took about 2 months to get my first paying client. I did a few bits of pro bono work just to build up experience and build up a platform of, like, a portfolio of work.
That must have been hard as well, doing the pro bono stuff, being professional on basically air to eat, it was it was a body positive collective, which is again a cause I'm really passionate about. So it was more of a passion project than kind of giving out everything for free. But still, it was quite difficult to work for 2 months and not have any money coming in. And then from there it kind of just built, and I never envisaged owning my own business or doing this long term, but now I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love having the freedom of running my own business and how I can work my well-being around my business as well. I think that's really important.
Well, that's like a really important thing, that you do something that you actually enjoy doing. And if it doesn't feel like work, then you're doing the right thing.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
And imagine there's excuse me. I imagine there's a lot of people out there that'd be like, "You're not gonna earn anything sitting on Facebook. You're not gonna earn it," and you're like,
"Yeah, that's literally what I do all century, guys."
Quite often people will take the mic. They're like, "Oh, so you just like sit around and tweet all day?" And I'm like, "No, I'm like, there's actually a bit more to it than that." But then one of my services is actually helping out at events and live tweeting or doing live, like say Instagram stories and stuff like that. So like live publication of whatever is going on in their world.
I've never actually thought about who does that, because I sometimes follow events online. I'm like, and they're putting like the live feed on, like they're doing live. I've never actually thought about who the people are who do those.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
people like me. So yeah, there was a transport company that were doing a big service launch at Warwick University during Freshers Week. So there was me, first week of September, in the pouring down rain for the entire day, taking photos of students getting really excited about public transport. Yes, I was literally getting paid to tweet.
Payday's payday. But yeah, I mean, there are lessons to be learned with social media. What would be like, say, the top 5, if you can find 5, but what the most common things that you tell people, the lessons? I mean, I don't want to sell your business right now.
No, I think, like I said before, having a goal or an idea of what you want from social media, why are you there? Yeah. How are you connecting with your audience? Who are your audience? Kind of really understanding who your business is, what you stand for, how you're a little bit distinctive or remarkable, what are you bringing to the table, why should people follow you?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people show up on social media just because everyone else is and not really having a game plan. Yeah. It's almost like saying, I want to go to Asda, but then not really knowing how you're going to get there and just expecting to land there. So yeah, having that game plan is really important, and just thinking about your audience. I think a lot of people think about themselves because it's their business. It's them that needs to make the money. They've got the bills and need to keep the income coming in. But I think it's all about building up a community first. Don't rush the sales. They'll happen on their own if you look after your audience properly.
And I would say don't rush building your community as quick as possible either. Let them come organically, because that's one of the first lessons you taught me. Yeah. Because Shane was like, we just invite everybody into the biscuit. He was like, oh, invite. And then you messaged me and you were like, don't do that. It'll mess up your algorithm. Yeah. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So
you want people involved in your community that are going to show up, that are going to engage with you, give you some love and help grow you organically, because otherwise if you have, say, a load of people following you who don't really care, that says to the platform that your content is actually rubbish and no one wants to see what you're putting out, so then it'll stop showing you to people, which is the exact opposite of what you want. I actually told someone off for that this morning, a client that I'd worked with before, exactly the same conversation I had with you. I was like, don't do it, it'll kill you.
Instagram's a perfect example, because like a lot of podcasters, I'm not calling anybody out, but a lot of podcasters will be like, let's share reviews, let's share likes, and I'm like, no, I would like to build things organically, and that's with both shows that I do. I mean, sometimes we invite people that like a lot of our posts. Like sometimes if someone's really interested and that I can see that they're like, I will be like, come and join us on the biscuit, because then they'll start liking on our page. That's different. But with Instagram, you get someone that'll like you. You look on their Instagram, they've all got 1,500 followers. They all seem to have the same amount, and I'm like, that's a bot. That's a bot. You can kind of tell, But I like things because we got about 400 followers on Instagram, but they're all interacting with what we're doing. It's brilliant.
That's it. You'd rather have a group of people, or say a room of 10 people who all really, really care, really, really love what you're doing, and buzzing off absolutely everything you say, instead of a room full of 1,000 people who aren't even paying attention to you. That's how you build a business. And I think as well, if you're going to try and encourage people to come through your kind of digital front door, if you want to call it that, you wouldn't do that in a shop. Just encourage people in just to make you look busy, who aren't actually going to buy anything. And I think it's exactly the same on digital. You want people who are invested in you, who are going to pay attention, who are going to shout about you and be advocates for you as well. It's not just the sales, it's who are they going to recommend you to as well.
Yeah. Now I imagine like teaching someone how to use Twitter and Instagram being a bit like trying to teach your mom how to use Windows XP back in the day. It's the most frustrating. Teaching my mom things on the computer was, or anybody, like, it's really frustrating. Don't click, right click, not left click. Bring that down, putting it back. It's quite frustrating. How do you deal with that? Because you do it from a distance as well. You don't you're not sat over the shoulder.
No,
right?
The majority of the time I try and do it face to face.
Oh, that's good.
I find it a lot easier, hands on, instead of trying to describe, or like, you need this button. No, not that one. The one like next door. Like, it's just so much easier to do it face to face, I find. every consultation is different, which is what I love. Everyone's got different skill sets, different experiences of social media, and different businesses, things that they need to get out of it. I see a lot of other social media people that have really rigid packages for what they teach, and some even book them back to back. And I can't imagine doing that. You know, like, imagine if someone had questions or they actually had no experience of social media whatsoever. It makes no sense to me. So I literally go back to basics with people and start with their skill level. I always ask them what they want from it, and kind of there's a pre-questionnaire beforehand. So I've got an idea of what they're comfortable with, what they're not. But even people who think that they're comfortable with it or have been using, say, Facebook or Instagram for years, there's always stuff that they're doing wrong or that they didn't know. And I love watching those light bulb moments. It's like, oh, I didn't realise it could do that. It's like, that for me is great.
Recently for me, it's Instagram TV. I was like uploading like massive long stories onto my story, or a minute long videos, trying to cram everything into a minute. And I was like, oh, Instagram TV, that's cool. You can speak for like 10 minutes if you want to, you know, it's quite cool. I like that.
It's a good channel. I think that's going to be one of the things that's building this year.
Yeah. I think it's a really, really good idea because, like I said, the 1 minute videos are great, but it's kind of like, it's too much information in one short space. And then unless I really like you, which I like you, and there's a few people that I like, and I will sit and watch and listen. But if your Instagram story looks like a stitch, you know, like it's been stitched and it's like a million dots across the top.
That is me.
I completely 100%.
Agree. I'm literally like next. You know, I'm not into that unless something grips me. I watch a lot of what you put, because you put a lot of like lessons and your advice that you talk to people.
I try to be useful and not just talk about my dog all the time.
That is me again.
But you know, your friends and your family will appreciate that, because they
don't. It's just for me. I'll try to say, oh, did you see this video? They'll be like, no one watched it. It was just me.
This is why I keep a personal account that isn't my business one, so I can go wild on my personal one.
I don't even use my personal Instagram anymore. I really don't, because there's no point. I do so much, like working the social media with both the shows is like a job in itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I literally wake up, I open up my phone, and I've got like 10, 15, 20, 30 sometimes, like in notifications on Facebook. Then I've got to do Instagram. Then I've got to do Twitter, read my emails. But I've been in bed 10 minutes awake looking at my phone before I've even got up and got in the shower. It's crazy, you know. So
I'm exactly the same. I always wake up and instantly beeline for the Twitter feed to see what's gone on. Or sometimes first thing in the morning, my partner wakes up before me. Was it last week when Trump launched the attack?
Yeah.
Dave whispered in me, he was like, don't look at Twitter this morning.
Stay away.
It's like, it'll upset you.
So my other half reacted totally differently. He ran in, he was like, World War III. And I was like, just waking me up, and I was like, what, babe? What? I was like, and he's in the military, so he should be like, oh no. But he was like, oh yeah. And I'm like, that's a terrible reaction to something like this.
Yeah.
He doesn't, but he's one of those people that don't belong on social media.
Oh God. But what you were saying though about personally being there to deal with things, I've got to give a shout out to Will from Web Orchard, who designed our website. It's just quite cool, and he was teaching me how to edit the website and add things, and I had no idea. The login wasn't working, so I was emailing him back into. It's not working. We'll fix it. He fixed it. Then I was like, what do I do now? And he was literally having to take me. I don't understand it, man. I'm good with computers, but I was like losing it. I was just trying to do stuff, and I was like leaving things just in midair on the website and all sorts. It was terrible. So big shout out to Will for helping me like that, because it takes it's quite a skill to be able to teach someone.
Websites, definitely. I built my own, and I'm going to be rebuilding mine later on this year, and I'm dreading it. I think I'm just going to lock myself in a cave somewhere for a week and just get it done. Otherwise, people might die if they come in my crossfire.
So what's the plan for you guys now? What are you going to be? Where are you going to be taking this? Keep growing slowly? Would you like to be big, or what?
Keep growing slowly as I am. I can't imagine taking on staff, certainly not at the minute. I'm starting to hand over some of my own work, which is something that I've been quite begrudging of, I guess. I'm really stubborn, and I like doing everything myself, but I was like, do you know what, Jen? You're only one person. I've started outsourcing quite a lot of my own admin, which has been a godsave. I can just actually focus on my clients' work now. I'm kind of fully booked pretty much with my clients, but I've got a couple of other projects going on in the background. I am currently starting to develop an app for mental health for young people to help with their well-being.
Really yes.
And then there's another like e-commerce business that I'm setting up with an old client who is a really close friend of mine. So yeah, like lots of other stuff going on, and growing my ladies and laptops community. So I've got a co-working community that I run for other ladies, female business owners in the area, or people who work for themselves, and we meet once a month, and there's a Facebook community for that as well. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. Keep me out of trouble.
You're a busy cat like me. I'll be like, right, give me loads to do. Then I complain that I've got loads to do. That's pretty much my life, you know.
Yeah.
So we were talking as well about us moving to sort of Shrewsbury and stuff like that, because you're from outside Shrewsbury as well.
Yeah, I am, yeah.
So where did you grow up?
Grew up in on the Wirral, so just by Chester, and I've lived all over the place. When I was in hospitality, I lived in like Lake District, Manchester, Sunderland, you know, all of the glamorous places.
Oh, right, okay.
And then, I moved down from Warrington about 18 months ago.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What were your first thoughts moving here then?
Gorgeous, actually. I love it. And I think, because my other half had been living in Australia for about 3 years before. And I think because he moved back and then I came on the scene not long after that, I almost like made him look at his hometown through different eyes.
Yeah.
I was excited about it because it's such a gorgeous place. And it's quite similar to Chester in terms of architecture, but the vibe is still nowhere near as studentified as Chester has become. So it's quite nice. Like, this is kind of Chester for me when I was a kid.
I always thought of here as being like a mini Chester.
I thought that
in
as
a
well.
way.
I spent a lot. I grew up in Wrexham, so.
But we're less flat. We have a lot more hills to walk.
Yes,
a lot more hills.
Definitely.
You know, those sort of older. That still feel like an old place, you know. I feel that. And you know what? I'll be walking through Shrewsbury sometimes with Shane, and he'd be like, he'd just grab me by my arm and pull me down some alley. That sounds wrong. Some
Back to the PG-13 again.
some shortcut, and I'd be like, what? I've walked past this a million times. He did it the other day. We were walking towards the bus station, and he just dragged me down some alleyway, down some steps, and I was like, whoa, okay, this has just saved me 10 minutes. And this is
I think a lot of things is like you walk around your town, you don't notice until you look up.
Yeah.
I think it's when you look up and you look at proper architecture, isn't it, that you don't really like. There's like the old market hall in the square.
Yeah.
When you stand underneath it, there's a part in the wall where there's like loads of little holes, and people always thought it was like an old abacus. It's not. It's what they used to do to weigh sacks.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
And it's like all those weird things around the town that you don't notice, do you? At first.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. Back to what we were just talking about trying to get the older generation, sorry guys, onto social media, because like we were saying,
he's not that young.
I'm not that young. What would be the icebreaker for you? Say you walked into a shop now, you're like, hi, I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you a bit of guidance to get your beautiful business onto social media so people can see who you are. What would be the icebreaker? What would you say to someone to entice them in? You know.
I guess I get them to play with it because I think so many people are scared of it, and show them that it isn't anything to be scared of. Show them its potential. Show some similar businesses and their success stories, and just kind of get them excited about it. I think a lot of people see social media, certainly doing it for their business, as a chore or an admin task, but if you open your eyes up to the amount of possibilities, the connections, and its full benefits, it becomes a really exciting thing, I think.
Yeah, I agree. If I ever share something and it gets like a particular like of a particular person, I'm kind of like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Charlie Adlard, he shared one of our Instagrams the other day onto his story, and I was like, oh, that's nice. You know, I love things like that.
It's his crush.
Yeah.
Actually, you know,
He's blushing.
I made a mistake the other day. So Julie went to the HSBC British Cycling National Cyclocross Championships. I got it right. Okay, I got it right.
Well done.
But on the post that I released like 3 days ago, I got it wrong. I was just like, it's the National Cycling Championships, whatever. And I put it onto our schedule thing, and Julie was like, no, you need to change that right away, because apparently that would have really upset
the cycling community. My brother's one of them.
Yeah.
Be on you. Yeah.
I put a really sarcastic. I corrected it, and yesterday I put up a sarcastic post saying I'm really sorry.
I love a good pun.
Yeah, well, it's got to be done. I'm getting old now. I'm going to use those dad jokes, can't I? So how was Christmas and New Year for you? What happens to your business then during them times of years? Does it boost? Does it get quiet or what?
A lot of my clients are service-based. So whilst all of their clients and customers are going crazy with Christmas, they actually quietened down. So I was quite busy over Christmas. Yeah. I was planning on taking off a few weeks, and I think I ended up just taking off the key days, just because also the lead up to Christmas, we got a puppy at the beginning of December, so I wasn't as productive as I should have been.
What is the dog?
He's a collie crossed with a basset hound. So his mum was half and half, and she was pretty much a fully sized collie, but with half pint legs.
And you didn't bring it with you?
I'm sorry, no. He would have destroyed everything. He's got a thing for wires at the minute.
Sorry, but as soon as you said dog, I was in there.
Oh, yeah.
I like dogs, but they're a lot of commitment, and I'm never in the house, so I can't really have a dog at the moment. I'd love to get one for my little boy, but yeah. I know that I don't have to.
No, they're great. Just don't get a pug. It just snots everywhere. It's a nightmare. It's like my leg is a constant tissue.
My wife likes the Boston Terriers. The little.
Oh, they're nice.
Yeah.
So if people, because obviously your business is called the Rock Rose Digital, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where did the name come from?
So my nan's maiden name is Rock, and she was an only child. And obviously when she got married, that kind of family line of the surname disappeared. And so I've always thought, had in my head, it used to be a joke that I had with myself, like, if I ever got famous, I'll be Jen Rock, like some sort of superstar, like ridiculous name. And then when I started Rock Rose, I was really struggling for a name. I was like, actually, I really want to kind of still do that honouring my nan thing. And I was thinking of other phrases with rock in, like rock steady, rock solid, because they could all be quite relevant to marketing, but they're also quite obvious and have been done to death in the world of marketing. So bit of a Google search, and I found Rock Rose, which is actually a herbal plant that helps with anxiety and settle terror, which I was like, oh, that's quite relevant. I feel like that's how I want people to feel from the work that I do with them about social, curing their terrors and their fears around social media. So yeah.
Apart from the fact it sounds cool as hell. Like,
And is that what name you use online as well, so if people want to find you?
Yeah, so all of my social media and my website, it's at Rock Rose Digital, all one word, no hyphens or anything like that.
Check out the Instagram as well, which I particularly like, because there's a lot of free advice there, lots of calming, sort of motivational things.
Yeah, motivational is important, isn't it?
Yeah, I do my best.
Yeah, you're very, very good on that. So what do you like to do in your spare time when you're not on Facebook? I bet sometimes you're like, more notifications on my own Facebook. Yeah, I bet.
Honestly, the more I do for work, the less I do on my own personal accounts. If I go quiet, it's generally because I'm busy with my business. And yeah, I quite often have my phone off or on Do Not Disturb, which is absolute bliss. When I'm not doing social media, dog walks, country walks. I really love cooking and baking and going out for food. So yeah, a lot of that as well.
There's a lot of baking love in the room then.
Yeah, definitely.
I need to start buying some keto baking stuff because there's bread you can make and cakes and things you can make. But I'm just like, wow, what is it? What flour is it? It's almond flour. It's really expensive. But
it is. Yeah,
super expensive. So if I make something, I want to make sure I get it right.
It's like next week I'm just going to bring in a massive stack of brownies and just put them in front of you. That's my aim, is just to make him cave. And I don't know why. I'm being really anti-supportive because he's doing so well, and I'm just like sitting here going like,
drool coming out.
Do
you know what? When I go to work, there's loads of stuff left over from Christmas, and in the office in the corner they've got loads of boxes of biscuits. They had a full Christmas log, and they've got sweets and all sorts. And I eat the sweets in front of me today, and it's more habit. It's not like a temptation thing. It's more like if someone was to offer me a sweet now, I'd go to reach in and go, no, I can't do that. But I'm starting to learn loads of little cheats and things so in my coffee today, I've got 2 spoonfuls of vanilla syrup, which is carb-free, sugar-free.
Yeah.
Which is keeping me going. It's like, that thing is...
that little fix.
Yeah. And I'm learning how to read the labels properly on food and stuff. So I picked up, my little boy loves fig rolls. So we had some in the cupboard. And I picked him up and it was like 69 grams of carbs in this packet. And I was like, put it away. And I was like, there's 10 in the packet. That's 6.9 grams per fig roll. So I'm having a fig roll, so I had a fig roll. Oh my God, that fig roll.
I like fig rolls. Yeah, they are
amazing.
good.
They're a niche. They're proper like underdog biscuit, I think.
They're
really underrated.
They're one of those ones that remind you of your childhood, isn't it? Having a fig roll.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go around to your nan's.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about biscuits and things, we're actually on topic with the Shrewsbury Biscuit. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, I'm starting to cope a bit more now. But like I said, that first night shift back without sugar, just like sugar in my coffee, for example, it was just a nightmare, you know, but we'll get there. People will be like, will he shut up about his keto? I feel
He'll cave soon.
No.
Like next week, me and Jules sitting here eating brownies and you'll just be like, ugh.
I've lost over 6 kilos in it'll be a week, 2 weeks tomorrow. I'm really, really excited
wow.
about what I'm doing. So
it's good going.
You won't be allowed to sit next to me soon.
I'm fitting in clothes I haven't fitted in years. It's been great. So what's next for you? What have you got? Any new clients coming up? Anything exciting that you know? Or any developments with some of your clients? Is there anything that's made you go, oh my God, what? Oh, we've done this. We've done it.
There's a few clients who've got some big stuff happening this year. One who's an author, she's launching a collaborative project to do with getting books into prisons in Dubai, which is really exciting. And she herself is launching a new book later on this year. So I started working with her about a year ago, just as she was launching her last book. So it'll be nice to be with her like on board throughout the whole process of launching a book, not just like right in the thick of it. A couple of other clients launching some big stuff. So it's nice. There's nothing I can divulge too much about, I'm afraid. But it's amazing to be a part of people's journeys, especially working with small businesses. You feel like a really pivotal part of their team. And that it's nice to see that everything kind of I'm doing is really helping them and paying off.
I bet with like a book launch and things like analytics are super, super important. Aren't they? You know, what traffic are you creating? What buzz are you making about your book? Like,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
And I bet when I first started doing the podcast, for example, I would check my statistics every single day. I'd be like, oh, what have we done today? Whereas it's kind of worn off and I'll do it like once a week or something. Like,
once you know it's there, you can get a bit obsessed with it, I find.
Yeah, I bet. Do you struggle with people, or do people struggle with like a drop in analytics? Do they like, oh my God, we need to do something fresh, something new? Or?
Yeah, sometimes that's just a bit of a wake up call, like a bit of a kick up the bum you need to maybe innovate, or maybe people are getting a little bit bored of what you're talking about, or there's a bit of a shift in trend. So I never see that as a negative thing, or it is just people who maybe aren't interested and who are just like following ambivalently, dropping off, and now your audience is a little bit more pure and they are definitely engaged. So sometimes it's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's a bit like a filtering system, isn't it?
Exactly.
Really? Yeah.
Getting rid of the people that you don't want.
And we need to start doing things a bit more visual. I think you brought it up on the last show, DeeDee, is that we need to start sort of bring a camera and start doing a lot more Facebook Lives and things like that. I would like to get the team all on our Instagram posting stories about their own day as well as mine, because it's always me just like, oh, look at me, I'm drinking coffee. Look at me, it's like walking.
If you've been watching my Instagram stories, it's like exactly what I do.
There's so many pictures on my thing of like where I'm sat just typing emails and there's a cup of coffee. Like I like to get the logo of the place I'm drinking and I'll be like, oh, look, here I am at Stop Cafe.
They're not actually bad photos though, they're quite good photos.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm a bit of a... Yeah. We had this thing when we went to Colombia to see my wife's family. We were all up in... what's it called? I forgot it. Anyway, we were put on this hill and we were taking pictures of this amazing monastery, and everybody was like, oh, Alex just got the better phone. And then I got a different phone and I started taking these amazing photos like a year later, and they're like, oh, he's actually really good at doing photography. So I've actually got a bit of skill.
So I used to work in wedding photography. I was like, when I look at yours, it's like all the different bits. If anything, you've got the scale just right, I think, personally.
Well, you see, I got some talents out there. I was talking to Shane the other day, actually, and he was like, we were talking about things we could do, and I was like, I did try for the TA a while ago, but, you know, just different things we could do that would maybe change our careers and stuff like that. I was like, the most trouble I get into is with my mouth. This is my talent and my curse at the same time.
Yeah.
You know,
verbal diarrhea, it's a talent. It's a talent. Yeah.
But speaking of verbal diarrhea, is there a danger of over posting on social media? Is like just garbage or most?
There is. I think people don't mind so long as it's valuable and they find it helpful. But if you are just going on, especially as a business, and moaning all the time or going like too personal, people will switch off. They just won't care. Like we all know people on Facebook that post absolutely every single thing about their lives, and we probably all got them on mute. So it is that it can become kind of white noise, or people might find it irritating. So yeah, there is a danger of that. But I think from my experience, there's very few people that are like that. It kind of tends to be the more kind of showboaty or egotistical people who are maybe kind of what's the phrase, I can't think now, but like covering up making compensations for maybe not being very good from what I've heard.
It's a bit like taking the attention away from what they're really trying to do and putting it all on themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Isn't it?
I feel like Instagram is the biggest culprit for that, especially with the filters, and I mean Snapchat as well. I mean I've got, don't know why I've got Snapchat. I speak to my kids on Snapchat, I suppose, but it's one of those things, the filters and the fakeness of it.
Snapchat's been around now for 11 years. Ugh. I downloaded it when it first came out. I looked at it 11 years. I was like, that's showing my age, isn't it?
I think I've had it for like 24 hours and that's it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
No.
There's certain social medias that are absolutely useless for me. I mean, obviously I speak to my kids on Snapchat. It's usually me when I'm at bored and they'll put the dog face on me. Like, oh, I'm tired in work because I was stupid. Like, I don't know. TikTok for me is one of those things. It looks terrible. It might be the most groundbreaking thing at the moment, but I am not lip syncing to Westlife.
Oh no, but it's good to watch though. Or is it just me?
It is fun to watch. I think it'll be interesting to see how it plays out over the year. Whether it is just whether it's just a short-lived thing and it burns out quite quickly, or whether it does actually kind of infiltrate down into other apps and they start kind of having their own little version of it. It'll be interesting to see.
What's your favourite social media to use?
Twitter, actually. Which
Twitter,
I know is a bit of an underdog. For business, I use Instagram the most, but I adore Twitter. I've got such a good freelancer community on there and mental health community. Some of my best friends I've met on there. And I find it a really wonderful, warming place. Yes, there is a lot of horridness out there as well. But
everywhere, isn't it?
There's that everywhere, exactly. And I think Twitter's probably the easiest to curate your own little echo chamber of loveliness, if that's what you want. If you don't want to let the bad stuff in, you don't have to, which is kind of nice, to be honest.
Yeah. Twitter's kind of a maybe for me. I think I spoke to you about it before. I was like, I'll probably tweet once a week or something. And
see, I use it totally the wrong way. I never tweet. I just read everyone else's. It's like I follow Lewis Capaldi. Every morning I'm seeing what he's tweeting. And it's so entertaining.
I think it's either a love it or a hate it thing.
Yes,
I tend to go there for news as well. So I'll see what's trending and see what's going on in the world. Rather than like go into, say, the BBC website or whatever. I'll go there first and see what's going on in the world.
So did you start on Facebook and then progress? I'm guessing a lot of people start with Facebook because it's been around the longest.
This is ridiculous, isn't it? I literally remember the day I got Facebook because we were in the sixth form common room procrastinating over our A-level revision and doing anything for procrastination. I remember it was crazy. It was like a virus and some sort of epidemic going around the common room. Everyone like logging in and getting on Facebook. And I think that same week, everyone also got on to like Bebo. And there was another one that was around at that
Bebo
time
days.
as well. There was like Face Party and MySpace.
MySpace.
That we all got all of them. And we were just saying the same things to each other on all of the different platforms. But it was just pure procrastination.
I opened up a MySpace because MySpace still exists. It's still there. And I remember saying to Tom, my mate in Vermont, I thought you
were going to say Tom, the original Tom. Do you remember? He was friends with everyone on MySpace.
He was my first friend on MySpace. Anyway, I said to Tom, I was like, I'm bringing it back, baby. I was like, I'm going to go on MySpace and just encourage everyone to go back on there. I logged in on it and I was just like, this is awful. This is so bad. And there are still celebrities using it hard. And I was just like, wow, why? What?
Why? Okay, it's a dying platform, isn't it? Now?
Wow. I'm impressed that anyone still uses it.
There was something that was going on last week and I wanted to ask your advice on it. These Instagram, Facebook seminars that are going on at the moment. Is there a danger in being conned in with things like that? Because there's like, there's a virtual seminar going on and there's big changes coming to Facebook. You need to learn how to use Instagram for media and things like that. And usually at the end there's kind of pay me $30 a month.
Yeah, there's always a sales pitch. I don't necessarily think they're a con. I think it's good to do your research. I think there's a lot of people who have watched what other people are putting out and literally just say the same thing, but haven't put the practice in themselves.
Yeah.
You see a lot of people or a lot of webinars being advertised at the minute for like 10 times your income or get 6 figures or 10,000 followers in the next 2 months. And a lot of, just because that formula has worked for them doesn't mean it's going to work for you, because everyone's business is unique. Everyone's customers are unique. How you use it is unique as well. And you all want different things. So I think those one size fits all actually fit no one. And from that respect, it's a bit of a con, getting people to pay money, and you feel bad then. You feel like you've not done things properly, you've not followed the instructions properly that they've taught you. And quite a lot of the time, the people hosting those webinars, like I said, they either don't have their own social media business or their own marketing business. They have just watched someone else's webinar and replicated that content and learned that they can sell it, which to me doesn't scream kind of integrity.
I think that goes back down to people having the fear of getting it wrong.
Yeah.
So they think if they shadow someone and do what they do, they'll have the same thing, but it doesn't always work that way.
Exactly. I think a lot of it, certainly social media, it's so subjective and personal.
Yeah.
You've got to try and work out what your audience wants. Like, everything is so individual. You really have to try and work out your own strategy, which is something that I'm really quite passionate about helping people do.
Yeah.
Trying to find out their little sweet spots
that
and
makes
communicate
them and why people should listen to them.
Exactly. And some businesses don't need 10,000 followers.
No.
The cafe next door doesn't need 10,000 followers.
They wouldn't say no.
Exactly. But it's how
necessary.
Engaged they are. Like, if 10,000 people rocked up right now, it'd be blooming carnage.
Yeah.
I agree. And, I don't run a business. I run a podcast, but I don't know if any of you guys saw it. I threw up a drunken Facebook Live last week. I drank 3 glasses of whiskey, and I was 3
Why
sheets.
did I miss this?
Oh my God, I'll show you.
What?
Are you drunk casting?
I had 3 glasses of whiskey, and because of the keto thing, I was 3 sheets to the wind. Right? I was just like, whoa! And we had this Canadian, guy.
Did you count the sugars before you had it?
Whiskey's great, by the way. If you guys are doing keto, whiskey's great. Anyway, I started doing this podcast with this Canadian I literally just met him. It was just a last minute thing. It was meant to be his co-host doing it, but he couldn't do it, so he was in touch with this guy. Anyway, this complete stranger jumped on with me and Tom, and we made this amazing podcast. And I was just so touched by it. I was like, oh my God, I never met this guy before. I love you guys. I released this. People seem to really like it. But the point I'm trying to make is we've got quite a small community with the other show that we do. But those people are so important to us, and they're so loyal, and they love what we do. And that's what it's all about. We don't need 1 million followers. We got the people that follow us already. And it's those people that keep coming back, and they will tell their friends about it. So you need to concentrate on that small pool of...
Exactly. I think there's a lot of people who are constantly chasing bigger numbers, more. But how about we just give the ones that are following us now the best possible? And a lot of people forget, like, once someone is following you on social media, you kind of still need to support them. Like, how often do we get annoyed when we see you've been a loyal, loving customer to something or someone online for ages, and then you're seeing offers for new customers? It's like, well, hang a minute, guys, why are they getting cheaper prices when I've been with you for years? Like, phone contracts, whatever, insurance, all of that kind of stuff.
Sky TV is the worst one.
Exactly. Like, rewards.
Don't get me started on Sky TV.
Sorry, Sky.
I think it's really important to reward your loyalty and use social media not just for gaining new followers, but also supporting your current ones as best possible. Like, maybe even in between purchases, what information do they need before and after? Like, how can you help them in between, and help make sure that they're getting like the best from you afterwards as well? It's almost like aftercare.
Yeah, you got to be consistent with what you're offering.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
Certainly.
And I know for a fact that that's important, because whenever I take a week off the podcast, things like that, the viewing figures just drop, and then you got to bring them back up again. It works the same with social media.
Yeah, definitely. So October last year, my mental health wasn't great, so my posting wasn't very consistent, and then when I was feeling better in like November and December, obviously I was then having to like scrabble to get back on top of my work. So then my posting was still inconsistent, and it's only really now that things are starting to like settle down again. And I'll be completely honest with that. But as a result, I've not grown as much as I wanted to. But equally, it's about prioritizing what you need. Like I could have continued trying to post every single day like I was, but it wouldn't have come from a genuine, authentic place. And also it probably would have burnt me out and done me a disservice, like a longer term disservice. So, you know, I took a month out. It's what I needed to do. And now I'm cracking on again. Like it is just about prioritizing what you need. Like it's not the be all and end all. The world won't end if you don't post for a week. I think people freak out about that. Yeah, but they equally can't expect growth or miracles to happen if they're being inconsistent.
I feel like you need to bank some sort of things as well, just in case you have those days when you're off. Like at the moment, I'm just wandering around Shrewsbury taking pictures because I know we've got a lot of content to get through this month. We've picked up 2 more interviews for soon, so we've got quite a lot going on. So I'm just going around like that'll do for a cover.
He's one of those people that message us at 3 o'clock in the morning because he's still doing stuff. Doesn't switch off.
Stamina, baby. What was I going to say?
It is really true though, having extra stuff, like when you are in that creative mindset, when you're in like that proper like flow, just make loads, and then you know that you've got that like buffer just in case something happens.
And I was gonna, on that point, like saying, I mean, I suffer from anxiety, social anxiety as well. So sometimes I'll be not at my best, but if I have got my tongue out and I'm drawing something, designing something, it makes me feel a lot better. Do you feel the same for you? If you're creating, making things, it kind of helps
certainly.
you?
Even just like, for me, writing I find really cathartic. I used to blog years ago about various experiences that I've been through, and even though I didn't really share it with anyone, it really, really helped. And if I am in a funk, I'll just write some stuff out, whether it's in like a journal, like without sounding too woo-woo, but either in a journal or like online, even just in a Google Doc or something, like just getting it out.
And this is why I started baking, because it was kind of like my head was just going crazy. I need to do something to occupy my time, so that's why I started. But it is one of those things. I think everyone has that thing, don't they? That calms them down, that relaxes
everyone
them.
needs that little outlet. I used to bake for my anxiety and depression as well years ago, and at the time,
I don't know if it's the baking or the eating afterwards that helps though, to be honest. Haven't worked that one out yet.
At the time, I was taking some time out from work. This is like 6-7 years ago, and the guy that I was dating at the time, he was trying not to eat cake, so I was just turning up at people's work with cake and bread and all sorts. Otherwise, it wouldn't have got eaten. But I was everyone's best friend.
I did. I go to work and I just like take stuff in, and then I was like, no, I'm on a diet. I was like, eat it, because if you don't, I will.
How have I only just met you? This isn't fair.
It's like, obviously you've been getting quite a bit of recognition recently for things you've been doing, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but explain to me what the prestigious #wow badge is.
So Jacqueline Gold, who is the founder of Ann Summers, she has a weekly like Twitter competition, I guess. It's not necessarily anything serious, but I know that she herself does judge this award. So you basically pitch your business in a tweet using her hashtag like Wow Women. Yeah. And she will choose 3 winners each week for her to showcase. And it's all female-led businesses, people who are doing things a little bit differently, or got a really big passion project that she can believe in. And nothing necessarily comes from it. It's just that little kind of pat on the head, bit of recognition. And last year, that was the lowest. So this time last year was the lowest I've ever earned in my business so far. And I was honestly thinking about walking away from freelancing. I was like, I'm not very good. This is not cool. And getting that award, it was, a nice little perk. I was like, a little boost to the confidence.
You should be recognised for what you do, isn't it? Because I feel like now a lot of it is when you have just your normal day-to-day job, you don't get noticed until you do something wrong.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're doing your job and how you're doing it right, no one notices.
Yeah.
It's also a talisman. It's also one of those things you can look at and go, look, see, you can do it. You can do that.
Yeah.
I look at that magazine thing over there, My Shrewsbury. I look at that and I'm thinking, there you go, keep going. That was me.
For those who aren't here and can't see it, it's just a giant picture of him with the magazine open.
I was going to call this the Alex podcast.
So when you come in, you just see a massive picture of him.
Not self-gratuitous at all.
No.
We've got a team now. I didn't have a team then. I was just like me.
Do you give it a little kiss on your way in when you see it?
Actually, when I walked in today, he was just there holding it.
It fell down.
He's not denying it either.
No. at all. No, because I'm proud of what we did. That was with a rickety kit that I just put together, and I was carrying that kit anywhere and around town, and now we've got our own little studio space.
Yeah, you got your little pro mics now and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, so things like that tweet. If you can. Screenshot it and save it somewhere. And you're feeling down and you're not feeling great, which you shouldn't do because you're doing brilliantly. But like those days, just look at that and be like, yeah, I see it.
I actually have a little spreadsheet on my computer that I write down any good thing that's happened.
Yeah.
Like maybe a new client or a client's had a win, or I've moved the needle in my business, like someone's given me a recognition or doing stuff like this. Write it all down. So when I do have those bad days or when imposter syndrome hits, it's good to look at that and be like, okay, actually, I'm not a fraud and I'm actually doing all right.
Brilliant idea. But I mean, like some review for cakes. I'm encouraging people, if you've worked hard for something and you've had something good, a positive happen because of it, don't feel like you're being vain by kissing the picture of yourself in a magazine. Do that because it's really important that you value yourself and what you contribute to culture.
Definitely. I think women especially are not very great at celebrating their wins or shouting out about stuff, which is something that I really try to encourage in my little women's co-working community. There's a thread that we have every week, and one of them on a Wednesday is Wednesday. So it's like trying to get women to celebrate whatever success, no matter how big or small, over the last week. And it's great, the things that come out of it. People generally get a little like midweek pick up from it, which is great.
Nice.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about when people have like those low moments in their social media or their business. What's your biggest advice?
I guess
as a pick me up,
taking a look back at where you started.
Yeah,
because I think day to day those changes are so incremental and so tiny, it can often feel like you've not come very far. But if you take a step back and look at where you started, you're always like, oh my God, I've done so much, or so much has changed. I've achieved so many things. I've pushed myself out of my comfort zone so many times. And really try and encourage people to not berate themselves. Like, it's natural to feel a bit low sometimes.
Yeah.
And just focus on the positives, as like woo-woo as that is. Like, trying to look at the good stuff that you've done and that you're putting out, and the positives the positive reinforcement that you're getting from people.
Yeah. Like
the reviews and customers that you're helping, no matter, like, it could be just the tiniest of ways, but you're like, everyone is making an impact on other people.
Yeah. I think one of the difficult things, because we're British, we're not meant to show emotion, are we? And all these things, and you're not meant to give people the recognition they have. Like, you see these things in America and they're all like, you're amazing, and all these things like this. And over here it's like, isn't you don't really have that kind of same support. So I think that's where people's doubts and they have second guesses.
It's not just telling people that they're amazing either. We're really bad at accepting it as well. It's a twofold thing.
Definitely.
So as much as possible, I do try and praise people or find something I like about them. I think that's really important,
the praise side of things.
It's all about building people up, I think, and getting people used to hearing good stuff about themselves.
To know that they are doing the right thing and reassuring them that what they're doing is the right thing.
Definitely. Yeah. I think a lot of my clients that I've worked with, certainly on a one-to-one basis, have struggled with that because they have been in a really corporate, really rigid job where they've maybe not been recognised for their talents. They felt unfulfilled. Yeah. And they don't feel confident in themselves at all. So now they've started up on their own, like trying to break free away from that. But then there's still a little bit of a shell and they don't quite know what they're doing or who they are. So trying to build people up and give them that confidence to go and smash things and tackle life is a really nice thing. You can see people developing and growing.
Do you think that's why sort of feedback, as in likes, comments, reviews, things like that, is important, just to let people know they're actually doing a good job? Because
it is, of course, that little bit of validation is great, but I think sometimes people can get to cling on to that too much. Instagram's soon are going to be hiding likes from public view, so you can't see what likes other people are getting.
That's good for me because I get no likes. So that's brilliant.
Which apparently has had quite a big effect on engagement as a whole in countries where that has rolled out already. People are starting to comment a lot less, which is really interesting. I think it means that people are less forthcoming and giving out.
It's gonna weed out the shallow people.
It is, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons they're doing it in a sense, because everyone was around about what likes they have, how many likes they have.
It's become a vanity contest.
It has,
and I really don't care about likes. Like, one of my posts the other day, I think I got 30, 40 likes, which for me isn't great.
But
then when I looked at the comments, really good comments, and not just people saying like, this is great. It was like really heartfelt things that people had taken the time to read or write, and loads of people had shared it, loads of people had saved it, and to me those are the more valuable
it's about people being able to be an individual and being recognised for what they are and what makes them
definitely. I like how I try to describe it is, if you were in a room and you were given a speech and the entire room just sat there nodding their head, which in my world is what a like is. It's kind of just like a little nod of the head. You wouldn't know why they're doing it. But then if someone came up to you afterwards and gave you a bit of feedback, or they liked it so much they were videoing it, or they were scribbling stuff down, or they were going to recommend you to someone else. Yeah. Those are all so much more valuable things. Like,
they are.
A like is a nod of the head.
And I've got to thank Amy Toohey as well, who messaged me ages ago. It was ages and ages ago, but I still remember it. I threw up some really... I spent like an hour making this amazing poster. It had like the Shrewsbury Biscuit breaking through a piece of paper, and it had all the places that you can find us. And I remember doing it on the ferry on the way back from Ireland anyway, but I did it and I got like 4 likes, and I was kind of like, well, that was pointless. But then she pointed out to me the fact that just because I got 4 likes doesn't mean only 4 people saw it. And I think that's important to learn as well. That, you know, you can make things and you don't necessarily have to do it for the likes. You just do it just to show people what you've made or what you've done.
Exactly. I think that's another reason why Instagram are hiding the likes. They want people to put out content that they want to create, not that they think is going to get them likes. I think a lot of it has become quite generic. You know, influencers posing in the same way, in the same places. You hear of cafes being inundated with people doing things for the Instagram picture and not actually for the experience. And you're seeing that all over the place. Like Instagram tourism is actually a thing now. People going to places, destinations all around the world just to replicate an influencer's picture and get that exact same shot and not experience it, which is a little bit like,
I'm on the fence with influencers because I like these mics are made by Aston mics. Shout out to Aston. And I said to him, like, you know, if you help me with the microphones, maybe I can, and they were like, no, we don't live on that. And they have a really good philosophy. They're like, if you want to do that, that's fair enough, but that's not what we're asking for. We want to hear your content that's made on our very clever, expensive microphones, and it is fantastic.
And they do look very fancy as well.
They do. They look impressive.
Nice.
They sound amazing. They're very clever microphones. I mean, that one's a good mic there, but they're very, very nice microphones. I'm very happy to have them. So thank you, Aston. But I don't like the where everything in your life has to be given to you because you're an influencer. I'm not into that.
That entitlement it's icky, and there's so many influencers. There's like certainly the famous ones who maybe come from like the likes of Love Island or Towie who. Only promoting products because of the money and not because they believe in it. There's a lot of news around influencers who haven't even used a product. Some of them have been caught out on TV on like secret cameras saying that they've not even tried some of the products that they're promoting, some of which are quite dangerous, like diet products, which are now banned on Instagram. And there was someone again caught, like an undercover guy caught a few influencers saying, they would happily promote this drink for X amount of thousands of pounds. And the person that was describing the drink explicitly said that this drink had poisonous like stuff in, like cyanide or things. And these people just were doing anything for money. I think that side of the influencing world, there's no authenticity, there's no integrity, but it's now being diluted down to like they're called nano influencers or micro influencers, and it's people with low amounts of followers, but they are passionate about things and they are almost like brand advocates, really. Something that's always been around. It's not a new thing, but it's just using people in a different way.
Product placement in movies, things like that. And I mean, the most recent example is we've got to be careful on how we talk about this, but the Goop and Gwyneth Paltrow and her candle, which was trending this week. She released a candle that. Can we say that? Google Gwyneth Paltrow's candle. And
that's the safest way to talk about it.
Gwyneth Paltrow candle, hashtag it, whatever, just Google it. And these candles have sold out. They are gone. And it just goes to show that people just buy any old tat. It doesn't matter who.
Especially if there's hype around it, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to buy that. But anyway, look, thank you so much for coming on.
Not a problem.
We'll have you on anytime you want to come.
I would love to,
chat,
definitely.
You know where we are now. And make sure you guys follow Rock Rose Digital on Instagram. It's a great Instagram, and everywhere else you are. Give everyone a shout out about kind of where you all are actually on social media.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, it's all at Rock Rose Digital. Right. And then if you are a lady who works for yourself in Shropshire, you're more than welcome to join the Ladies and Laptops community. Just search Ladies and Laptops on Facebook, and I'll approve you and let you into the group.
Fantastic. You've been a great guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I want to before we end this, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Gin Different. If you are a fan of gin, or if you're on the fence, either way, just go and try it, because I tried some amazing gins when I was at Gin Different, and I'm not a gin guy at all. Go and check their bar out at the Market Hall, and if there's a bottle of gin that you can't get at Asda or Tesco, they will go and get it for you, and then you can pay for it there. So check out Gin Different on Instagram and on Facebook. Thank you for being our sponsors. And yeah, make sure you check out our website, which we talked about halfway through the show. We are the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast.co.uk. It's fantastic. You can play the audio straight off your device or from the website. It's brilliant. I love it. And yeah, this has been a great episode.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been Force Game Podcast. Peace out.